There's a mitzvah in the Torah of halachta b'drachav, which means that one should walk in the ways of Hashem. What does that mean exactly? So Chazal explained to us that means that we should try to have good midos. Hashem is Gomel Chesed, we should be Gomel Chesed. Hashem is Rachum B'chanu, we should be Rachum B'chanu. That's the mitzvah of halachta b'drachav. This mitzvah is actually mentioned 8 times in Chumash Devarim. The Chavetz Chaim points out in his Sefer Avas Chesed that it's emphasized so many times to teach you how important it is. This is a very important mitzvah. A person should work on the midos beranam u'chavero, and that's the mitzvah of halachta b'drachav. 3 of those 8 times are found in Parshas Eikev, and the Chavetz Chaim points out that these 3 times of halachta b'drachav found in Parshas Eikev are each one is mentioned in a slightly different context, and the Chavetz Chaim explains the significance of the fact that this mitzvah is mentioned in a slightly different context in each of the 3 places. So let's see the psukim. First, in Perek Ches Pasuk Vav, the Chumash tells us, "V'aleches b'drachav u'yiroso." First halachta b'drachav, and then yiras Hashem. Later, in Perek Yud Pasuk Yud Beis, the Torah says, "V'yira es Hashem elokecha, v'aleches b'chol drachav u'lehavaoso." First yiras Hashem, then halachta b'drachav, then ahavas Hashem, le'ahavaoso. Then finally, at the end, near the end of the parsha, the Torah tells us, "Li'avos Hashem Elokechem, v'aleches b'chol drachav u'ledaf kabo." First ahava, then halachta b'drachav, then veikus b'Hashem. Why the difference in the 3 contexts? So the Chavetz Chaim explains as follows. He thinks the Torah is teaching us a basic yesod in avodas Hashem. He says as follows: we have 3 levels of avodas Hashem. There's yiras Hashem, that's serving Hashem out of fear or awe of Hashem. That's one level. A higher level is avos Hashem, that you serve Hashem out of love for Hashem. And the highest level is dveikus b'Hashem. Dveikus b'Hashem, the Chavetz Chaim explains, is a constant love of Hashem, where you're overwhelmed by your love for Hashem. That's the highest level. So the Chavetz Chaim explains as follows. In the first pasuk, the Torah is teaching us that if you want to get to the level of yiras Hashem, work on your midos first. First halachta b'drachav, and then yiras Hashem. The Torah is teaching us if you want to work on beranam l'makom, first work on beranam l'chavero. Work on your halachta b'drachav, and then that will help you achieve the level of yiras Hashem. That's the first pasuk in Perek Ches Pasuk Vav. The next pasuk starts with yira. Why? Because you already have yira from the first pasuk. So the next pasuk is saying if you want to go from yira up to ahava, what do you have to do? Work on halachta b'drachav in the middle. So the pasuk says yiras Hashem Elokecha, and then halachta b'drachav, and then avas Hashem. Because if you want to get from yira up to ava, again, what do you have to do? Work on your midos some more, and work on halachta b'drachav some more. Finally, the last pasuk starts with avas Hashem. Why? Because you already have the avas Hashem from the previous pasuk. So now, if you want to go from avas Hashem up to dveikus b'Hashem, how do you get there? Again, work on your midos some more. The way to go from ava to dveikus is halachta b'drachav in the middle. And that's exactly the lesson of these 3 psukim. That halachta b'drachav is always the stepping stone for helping you achieve greater levels in avodas Hashem. So the Chavetz Chaim says we learn from here a very important lesson, that if a person wants to grow in his avodas Hashem beranam l'makom, if a person wants to be a good Jew beranam l'makom, he has to first work on being a good person and a good Jew beranam l'chavero. And the working on beranam l'chavero will act as a stepping stone for his beranam l'makom as well.